Your life is becoming stronger beneath the surface. A foundation is forming, a structure capable of carrying more weight, a cushion between you and the unexpected, a deeper kind of safety that doesn't depend upon every day going according to plan. You're entering a season of stability. Your habits are becoming walls of protection. Your routines are becoming sources of power. Your resources are becoming organized. And the volatility of the material world is losing some of its authority over your peace. The physical world moves through cycles. Income rises and falls, plans change, expenses appear, bodies require care, equipment breaks, work expands and contracts. Relationships move through changing seasons. The road contains unexpected turns. No amount of preparation removes every surprise, but preparation changes how deeply the surprise can disturb your life. A sudden expense feels different when a reserve exists. A difficult week feels different when supportive routines remain intact. An uncertain decision feels different when you have time, options, and a stable place from which to think. This is the purpose of a strong foundation. It doesn't make life motionless. It gives you somewhere solid to stand while life moves. Stability is not the absence of change. It is the ability to remain oriented during change. Security is not a promise that nothing difficult will happen. It's the confidence that one difficult event cannot immediately dismantle everything you've built. Your life is becoming fortified, brick by brick, choice by choice, habit by habit. You're constructing insulation against unnecessary chaos. Imagine a stone house standing on elevated ground. The weather around it changes. Rain arrives. The wind moves through the trees. Winter covers the road. Summer heats the fields. The house remains. Its strength does not come from arguing with the weather. It comes from the quality of its construction. A deep foundation, strong walls, a roof maintained before the storm, food stored, tools kept in order, fire prepared for the cold. The house respects the reality of changing seasons. It was built with change in mind. Your life can be built that way. You don't need to predict every exact storm. You need structures capable of meeting many kinds of weather. Savings can become one wall. Health routines can become another. Reliable relationships can become supporting beams. Practical skills can become tools kept near the door. Clear boundaries can become locks. Rest can be insulation. Your daily habits can become the quiet maintenance that keeps the entire structure sound. Material stability is created through these ordinary decisions. The dramatic rescue becomes less necessary because the small repair was made on time. The emergency loses some of its power because the reserve was built gradually. The difficult season becomes survivable because the foundation was strengthened during calmer weather. This is wisdom, made practical. A stable life is rarely created by one magnificent decision. It's built through repeated actions that appear almost too small to matter. A small amount saved consistently. A bill reviewed before it becomes a crisis. A room restored to order at the end of the day. A meal planned before hunger makes the decision. A bedtime protected, a promise kept. A task completed while it's still manageable. Every repetition casts a vote for the kind of life you're creating. Each action says, I am someone who protects the future. I am someone who maintains what matters. I am someone who creates order before chaos demands attention. I am someone who can depend upon my own systems. Identity and habit strengthen each other. You act according to the person you intend to become. Then the completed action provides evidence that the identity is real. You save a little. You become someone who builds reserves. You prepare the space. You become someone who protects clarity. You practice the skill. You become someone capable of meeting a wider range of circumstances. Confidence grows through evidence. The foundation becomes psychological as well as material. You trust yourself because you repeatedly witness yourself doing what supports your life. Goals can point toward a destination, but systems determine how your ordinary days move. A goal says, I want greater financial security, but a system says this amount moves into savings automatically. A goal might say, I want a more peaceful home. A system says, every evening, I restore the most visible spaces. A goal says, I want a stronger body. The system, it says, these are the days I train. This is how I prepare my meals. The goal provides the direction. The system creates continuity. And security grows from continuity. And a strong system now does not depend upon perfect motivation. It reduces the number of decisions that have to be made while you're tired or distracted or discouraged. The desired action becomes easier to begin. The harmful action becomes slightly harder to access. Your environment begins supporting the identity that you've chosen. The useful tool remains visible. The distracting object is moved farther away. The payment happens automatically. The supplies you need are prepared in advance. The routine has a clear beginning. You don't ask willpower to perform every task alone. You build a road that makes the correct action more natural. This is material intelligence. Your physical environment can either drain decisions from you or quietly guide you towards stability. You are arranging the world around you to support the life within you. Habits often fail because they are expected to create immediate transformation. A small action seems kind of unimpressive. The mind says, this is never going to be enough. Yet, foundations are created from individual stones. No single stone represents a finished house. Its value becomes visible through accumulation. The 10 minutes of preparation matter. The modest deposit matters. The one completed task matters. The repeated choice matters. Small improvements compound. They don't always produce visible change immediately. For a time, the surface might appear completely unchanged. Then, the accumulation reaches a threshold. The reserve becomes meaningful. The skill becomes dependable. The room stays organized more easily. The body responds. The routine begins carrying you. What once required effort becomes just part of the structure. And you are building this kind of momentum. Your actions are no longer isolated events. They are joining together. They are creating a pattern. The pattern is becoming a system. The system is a foundation. The foundation is security. Security requires a cushion. And a cushion is space between you and the edge. Space between income and spending, between effort and exhaustion, between one responsibility and the next, space between a difficult emotion and the action chosen in response. When life has no margin, every disruption becomes an emergency. One expense becomes a crisis. One delay ruins the schedule. One poor night of sleep weakens the entire week. One unexpected request forces the abandonment of something important. Margin absorbs impact. It gives the structure flexibility. A bridge is designed to move slightly. A building expands and contracts with temperature. A vehicle has suspension because the road is uneven. Strength is not rigid. Strength is the ability to absorb movement without breaking, and your cushion provides that flexibility. Financial reserves provide time to make better choices. Unscheduled time provides room for the unexpected. Physical recovery provides capacity for demanding work. Emotional boundaries provide insulation from other people's volatility. A stocked pantry provides options when the day gets complicated. A backup plan reduces the authority of panic. These forms of margin are not signs of fear. They're signs of respect for reality. The world moves. You're building a life capable of moving with it. Material power is the ability to create real effects within the physical world. It's the ability to pay, repair, provide, build, transport, protect, and sustain money is one form of material power. Time is another. Health is another. Knowledge is another. Reliable tools, a stable home. An organized schedule can become material power because it allows intention to reach action. Material power is neither shameful nor spiritually inferior. The physical world is where care becomes concrete. A loving intention can't replace food. Hope can't repair a leaky roof. Kindness cannot substitute for every overdue payment. The spirit requires vessels. The body requires nourishment. The home requires maintenance. The future requires preparation. When material resources are organized according to purpose, they become instruments of will. Money can buy time. Savings can protect freedom. A vehicle can carry you toward responsibility. A home can provide safety. A tool can turn skill into useful work. A routine can turn desire into form. You are learning to treat material power with respect. You don't worship it. You don't despise it. You direct it. you decide what your resources serve. Security, health, family, freedom, creative work, generosity, long-term purpose. Resources become meaningful when they're connected to values. The foundation is not being built merely so you can possess more. It's being built so that your true priorities are less vulnerable to chaos. There's always a wolf at the door. And there is a difference between security and hoarding. Security protects life. Hoarding refuses life because loss has become the central fear. Security says, I have enough structure to move wisely. But hoarding says, I can never move because everything must be preserved. A foundation exists to support the house. The house exists to contain life. The reserve exists to protect meaningful action. The reserve is not the meaning of life itself. You can save and still enjoy. You can prepare and still participate. You can protect your resources and remain generous. You can build walls without sealing every window. True security creates freedom of movement. It allows you to make a decision without immediate desperation. It allows you to help without destabilizing yourself. It allows you to leave an unhealthy arrangement. It allows you to wait for a better opportunity. It allows you to recover when the body or mind requires care. The purpose of fortification is not permanent retreat. It's the creation of a strong place from which you can engage with life. The gates can open because the walls are sound. Your foundation should support your relationships as well. Predictability creates emotional safety. People learn that your words correspond to your actions. They know when you will arrive. They know which boundaries remain stable. They know what responsibilities you will carry. Reliability becomes a form of care and doesn't require perfection. It requires repair. If you miss the commitment, you acknowledge it. If the system fails, you examine it. If a routine no longer serves the actual conditions of life, you adjust it. Stability is not stubborn repetition. It is faithful adaptation. The purpose remains. The methods can change. The morning routine might move to the evening. A financial contribution might be reduced temporarily rather than abandoned. A training plan may become gentler during recovery. The structure bends so it can continue. This is how habits survive real life. Avoid creating routines that only work under perfect conditions. Create a minimum form, the smallest version that keeps the identity alive. 5 minutes of practice, one restored surface, one meal prepared, one honest review of the numbers. The minimum action preserves continuity. It keeps the road visible. Greater effort can return when capacity increases. Consistency does not mean performing at maximum intensity every day. It means maintaining contact with what matters. Your foundation grows because you return. Now, you are also being fortified against the opinions and emotional fluctuations of others. Another person's mood no longer needs to control the atmosphere inside your house. Their urgency does not automatically become your emergency. Their poor planning does not always require your immediate sacrifice. Their disappointment does not prove that your boundary is wrong. Emotional stability is a form of insulation. You can hear the storm outside without allowing it to tear through your every room. You can care without surrendering the structure. You can help from a stable position. You can decline when helping would collapse something essential. Boundaries are part of the foundation. They protect time, they protect attention, they protect energy. They ensure that resources remain available for responsibilities that genuinely belong to you. Every open door is not an act of kindness. Sometimes kindness requires a gate, a clear entrance, a standard for what's allowed inside. Your life is becoming less accessible to unnecessary disorder. That's not coldness. That's stewardship. You are responsible for the condition of the structure you inhabit, your mind, your body, your home, your finances, your schedule, your attention. Stewardship asks you to protect these resources from repeated misuse. The world will continue moving through ups and downs. A strong foundation does not guarantee a permanent upward line. There will be prosperous seasons. There will be leaner seasons. There will be days of momentum. There will be days when maintenance is the victory. The twists and turns do not mean the system has failed. The system exists because twists and turns are real. During prosperous seasons, you strengthen the reserves. During slower seasons, you use the reserve carefully. During energetic seasons, you build. During tired seasons, you maintain. During clear seasons, you make plans. During uncertain seasons, you return to the next stable action. Every season has a correct use. You no longer demand summer from winter. You learn what the present season can support. This protects you from unnecessary self-judgment. A foundation may be growing during a period that doesn't really look impressive. Debt is being reduced, skills are being developed, health is being restored, the home is being repaired, relationships are becoming more dependable. These achievements may remain invisible to the outside world. They are still forms of success. Visible expansion becomes safer after the invisible stability has been created. You are building beneath the surface. The future will stand upon what you are doing now. Begin with the weakest part of the structure. One area may require attention: a neglected bill, a chaotic schedule, an unfinished repair, a missing boundary, maybe a routine that exists only as an intention. You don't need to rebuild the entire house today. Choose one stone. Complete one stabilizing action. Review the account, schedule the appointment. Prepare tomorrow's materials. Clear the surface. Set the automatic transfer. Write the boundary. Go to bed at the time you choose. A stable life emerges from these ordinary boundaries. The action may appear small and ordinary. Its meaning is large. It declares that chaos does not possess complete authority. It proves that order can be created. It reinforces the identity of someone who protects what matters. Then, repeat. Repetition is how the wall rises. You don't need dramatic intensity. You need a pattern that can survive your actual life. Make the action clear, make it accessible, make its beginning obvious, reduce friction, and connect it to something that already happens. After the coffee, review the day. After dinner, clean the kitchen. After the payment arrives, move the planned amount. After work, prepare the first task for tomorrow. One action becomes the signal for the next. The routine begins carrying its own momentum, and you're no longer reconstructing the entire decision every single day. The structure begins working for you. A safer future is being built. It's being built through your awareness and your restraint, and it's being built through the decision to prepare before the pressure arrives. Your past may have contained instability. Money may have disappeared as quickly as it arrived. Plans may have been overturned without warning. The emotional atmosphere may have changed without explanation. You may have learned to expect the floor to move. You're now building a floor that belongs to you, a personal foundation, a way of living that remains more consistent than the surrounding conditions. You can't control every external movement, but you can control part of the structure through which that movement reaches you. You can create reserves, you can establish routines, you can strengthen skills. You can maintain relationships with dependable people. You can become someone who responds rather than collapses. This security is growing from within, and it is extending into material form. This is your realignment. I am building a stable life. My habits protect what matters. My routines turn intention into material form. I create margin between myself and unnecessary crisis. I prepare during calm seasons. I use resources according to clear values. I build reserves without making fear the center of my life. I allow security to create greater freedom. I maintain what I have worked to create. I choose systems that can survive real conditions. I preserve continuity through small actions. I protect my time, attention, health, and resources. I strengthen the weakest part of the structure one step at a time. I adapt my methods while remaining faithful to the purpose. I respect the volatility of the world without surrendering my peace to it. I am becoming dependable to myself. My foundation is becoming strong. My future has somewhere solid to stand. The stone house remains. Rain moves across the roof. The wind passes through the trees. The seasons turn. Inside, there is warmth. There's food. There are tools. There is enough space to think. The house does not panic when the sky changes. It was built with weather in mind. Your life is becoming this kind of shelter. You're creating strength before the next demand. You're developing habits that continue when motivation fades. You're creating a cushion so one unexpected event doesn't control every decision. You're insulating your peace from the ordinary volatility of the material world. The road may twist. Your foundation remains. The market may rise and fall. Your values remain. Plans are going to change. Your systems help you reorganize. A difficult week might arrive. Your routines are providing a road back. This is material power. The ability to remain, recover, and protect. The ability to create real effects through organized resources. You're becoming less dependent upon perfect conditions. You're becoming more capable of carrying responsibility. You're becoming harder for chaos to dislodge, brick by brick, habit by habit, boundary by boundary, reserve by reserve, the structure is rising. The walls are sound. The roof is being strengthened. The cushion's growing. Your life is becoming fortified. And because the foundation is becoming stronger, you will eventually be able to build higher without becoming fragile. And from this moment forward, may every faithful habit become another stone beneath your future. May every wisely guarded resource strengthen your freedom, and may every blessing of stability, safety, and material power find its rightful road into the life you are building. If this transmission found you at the right moment, subscribe to Dove and Serpent Daily and return tomorrow for the next realignment.